Prepare yourself. What's unfolding in the sky tomorrow isn't random. It's a remembrance. A signal long encoded in the stars is beginning to echo once more. On May 22nd, the crescent moon, Venus and Saturn will align in a rare diagonal path across the heavens. But this isn't just cosmic choreography. It's a transmission, a message that's been waiting patiently for your eyes to rise. Thoth, the ancient guardian of celestial wisdom, wasn't merely a figure of forgotten myth. He was the master of moonlight rhythms, the divine scribe of time and cycles. So when his sacred symbols, the moon, Saturn and Venus, converge in harmony, what truth is being awakened now? It means something is being unlocked, and it's not random. This alignment is more than astrology. It's activation. A code being pulsed across time, waiting for those who are tuned to its signal. If this reached you before the 22nd, you're not just watching, you're responding. Something's probably been circling your mind leading up to this. An idea, a decision, something you haven't been able to ignore. If you feel like it, drop it in the comments. And feel free to add 522 to your message just to mark the energy of this exact moment in time. And you need to pay attention, because what you do in the next 24 hours is going to be crucial. I'll explain exactly why later on, so stay close. But there's something else that almost no one is talking about. Something else is hiding inside this signal, and only the chosen ones will catch it. Most people won't feel a thing. This isn't some open-door celestial party where everyone gets in. No. What's happening tomorrow is a targeted activation, a specific frequency aimed only at those carrying the right codes, a portal disguised as an alignment. Venus, the planet of desire and divine attraction, Saturn, the anchor of spiritual contracts, and the crescent moon, the gateway of hidden truths and re-emergence. Together, they don't just create a pattern, they create a test. And if you were pulled to this message today of all days, then Thoth's frequency already found you. This isn't about luck, it's about design. You were marked long before this life, and now the symbols are rearranging themselves to tap your memory. Most people will wake up tomorrow and feel nothing, but for a few, things will feel off, like something's humming beneath reality. If that's you, you're not broken, you're being called. But this isn't the end of the transmission, because the real shift, it starts when the sky darkens again. The sky bends for no one unless it's time. This exact alignment, the crescent moon with Venus and Saturn, hasn't happened like this in decades. Not with this precision, not with this pull, and definitely not under the kind of collective frequency we're sitting in right now. Venus is rising first, pulling things to the surface, especially the things we want but haven't spoken out loud. Desires, urges, magnetism. This is Venus operating as a mirror, and for some, a magnet. What you crave might suddenly come closer, but so will what you've tried to ignore. Then Saturn steps in, and Saturn doesn't play. It brings the weight of everything you've promised, in this life and maybe before it. It's the planetary executive of cause and effect. So while Venus tempts, Saturn checks the receipt. And above it all, the crescent moon. Not full, not hidden, just enough light to expose the in-between. It heightens the intuitive field. That's why people are already reporting things like high-pitched ringing in the ears, pressure around the forehead, or even sudden waves of emotion that don't seem to belong to them. Reality is listening more closely right now than usual, and it's echoing you back at yourself. When these three align, the effect isn't symbolic, it's energetic. It's like the rules thin out. Thoughts loop back faster. Intent becomes weight. This window bends the line between inner world and outer world. It doesn't last long, but if you're sensitive, you'll feel it before it even peaks. He didn't write it all down just to be worshipped. He hid things in plain sight. Thoth wasn't just a scribe. He was the original engineer of cosmic memory. He didn't just write down knowledge. He embedded it into stone, into myth, and most importantly, into time. The emerald tablets, often dismissed as allegory, were maps, layered blueprints, not for controlling the cosmos, but for recognizing when a cycle was reawakening. And when you look at them closely, what do they speak of? Repeating sky patterns, the moon's passage, the return of Venus as a signal of resurrection, Saturn, the keeper of the gate. All of it laid out like breadcrumbs, waiting for the right eyes to follow them. He didn't tell us what would happen. He told us when it would begin. This isn't just an astrological curiosity. This is an encoded moment, one that carries the exact energy signature Thoth warned would mark the opening of what he called the eyes of the hidden ones, those who see not just with sight but with memory. Because when the Moon, Venus and Saturn align like this, the veil doesn't just lift, the script flips, and those who remember will start to feel something return. He didn't speak in words, he spoke in alignments, and now your soul is translating. Thoth didn't design his teachings to be read like a book. He scattered them across the sky, encoded in orbits, eclipses, conjunctions, living messages that would only awaken when the stars returned to a very specific pattern, not for the mind to interpret, but for the nervous system to recognize. And right now, as the moon curls toward Venus and Saturn, something ancient is starting to vibrate beneath the surface of your awareness. You don't need a telescope, you don't need astrology charts, you just need to feel it, that low hum of knowing that rises in your chest when you sense something is about to change, not out in the world, but in the very wiring of reality itself. There are no clear instructions, no obvious signs, but if you've found yourself drawn to symbols, dreams, flashes of forgotten memories, or sudden emotional waves that don't belong to this moment, you're not malfunctioning, you're decoding. The alignment on May 22nd is triggering something timed, not taught. There's a resonance moving through space and into the planet now. A kind of frequency that doesn't move through sound, but through sensation. You might feel your heart clench for no reason, or a pressure at the top of your spine. Just before sleep, you may look at the moon and feel like it's watching you back. Not in a spooky way, but in a remembering way. A recognition. This is a harmonic sequence embedded into certain celestial events that bypasses the conscious mind completely. It activates DNA memory, not the kind passed on from your parents, but something far older. A memory you've carried across lifetimes, a knowledge that wasn't meant to be understood until now. And no, it doesn't come with fireworks or glowing symbols. It arrives like a whisper during the moment you forget to resist, when you're not thinking, not analyzing, not doubting. That's when the codes start to rise. It may feel like a pulse, like the universe gently nudging you back into sync. And as we approach the May 22nd alignment, that pulse is only going to get stronger. This isn't about stargazing. This is about star hearing. Tonight, when you look at the sky, don't just look, listen, because the message wasn't written in a language. It is the language, and it's already speaking through you. Saturn brings the weight. Venus brings the reason to carry it. You may have already started to feel it, not in your mind, but in your body. There's a heaviness, subtle but unmistakable, like time itself has started to stretch and twist around you. The hours feel too long or too short. Sleep doesn't refresh you the same way. You reach for something familiar and it slips away. That's Saturn. It doesn't come to punish. It comes to solidify, to crystallize what you've been ignoring. When it gets close, it pulls focus to what's been half-built, what's been delayed, what's been spinning in limbo. And for many right now, it's surfacing as strange tension, emotional static, or a kind of psychic gravity that makes everything feel just a little thicker. But there's a grace built into this portal, Venus, and she's not just about love or attraction. Venus is the reminder, the softness, the beauty that exists in the middle of the weight. And she's not here as an accessory, she's here as a balancing force. Without her, this would feel like collapse, but because of her, it's becoming transformation. So what you might be feeling right now, the dissonance, the mood swings, that's not breakdown, that's resonance. That's what happens when two opposing frequencies try to sync inside the same field. You're not being broken apart, you're being retuned. And above it all, the crescent moon watches. Not passively, but with purpose. It mirrors both the fire and the ice, the pull and the push. That sliver of light in the sky is not just a phase, it's a signal. A mirror angled at your emotional body asking one very specific question: can you stay centered while being stretched? Because that's what this is, a stretching of perception, of time, of internal balance. You may notice yourself withdrawing from others without knowing why. You might experience vivid dreams where colors feel too bright and voices speak without sound. This is the language of polarities, crashing and dancing and weaving around each other inside you. And no, it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to. This isn't logic. This is a test of embodiment. And only those who can stay grounded inside chaos will fully receive the signal. You are not here to escape the weight. You're here to learn how to carry it with grace. So if everything feels amplified right now, the confusion, the tenderness, the yearning, good. That means the transmission is landing. Keep your heart open. Keep your nervous system steady, because this portal isn't asking you to figure it all out. It's asking you to feel it and not look away. The sky looks quiet, but your body knows better. They'll say it's just a sliver of light, a quiet crescent moon hanging in the sky, a phase, a symbol, a simple pause between one lunar cycle and the next. But if you're here, watching this, you know it's more than that. This crescent moon isn't random. It's timed precisely, delicately, between the weight of Saturn and the magnetism of Venus. And while the world sleeps on it, your body's already tuning in. You might have already felt it, an ache in your chest like anticipation with no name, a flutter in your gut, dreams that feel half-translated, like they're trying to tell you something but keep slipping just out of reach. That's not your imagination, that's the signal. This particular crescent moon acts like a psychic primer, a soft unlock that doesn't shout but whispers to your intuition, your inner compass, your unspoken knowing. It gently opens the door between you and the field of possibility, making it easier for your thoughts to become things. This is why manifestation under this moon hits different. It doesn't just respond to what you say, it responds to what you feel when no one's watching. The crescent moon doesn't demand your wish, it reads your resonance. So if you've been carrying a desire, something deep, maybe even unspoken, you don't need to do anything elaborate tonight. You just need to feel it with clarity. The moon already knows. This is a window where the quietest wishes become the loudest realities, a soft invitation, a silent agreement. And when you act from alignment during this phase, the universe rushes to meet you halfway. The alignment is short, but what you do inside of it can ripple forever. There's something strange about this portal, something most people won't notice until it's already passed. It has a pulse, a frequency spike, and for some, it will hit as a sudden choice moment. You might be mid-conversation, mid-thought, mid-scroll, and something clicks. A knowing, a push, a magnetic pull toward a decision that makes no sense on paper but feels absolutely inevitable. This could be the sudden urge to walk away from something that used to feel comfortable, or the spontaneous decision to say yes to something wild. It could be a project idea that floods your mind out of nowhere, something you've never considered before, but suddenly feels like it's been waiting for you. This is what we call the sudden choice effect, and it's not random. It's a pre-coded impulse, a whisper from your higher timeline, a thread of destiny that only lights up under specific energy conditions, like now. And when it shows up, you'll know. You might hear your own voice in your head louder than usual. You might feel like time slows down for just a second. You might even feel watched, not in a creepy way, but in that strange, cosmic way, like something is waiting to see if you'll act. Every once in a while, time opens a door, and your soul gets to choose whether to walk through it. The tricky part: your mind might try to stop you. It'll bring logic, doubt, resistance. It'll tell you you're being irrational, that it's not the right time. But that's the test. This portal isn't testing your knowledge, it's testing your trust. And when you move on that signal, even if it makes no sense at the time, it sets something in motion, something bigger than the choice itself, something that echoes far beyond May 22nd. So if that choice shows up, listen closely. Not to your fear, not to your past, but to that deeper part of you that already knows where this is going. Because you weren't brought here by accident, you were brought here to decide. If you do this tomorrow, you might block the message entirely. Let's be clear. Tomorrow, May 22nd, is not a day for noise. And if you go about it like any other day, you might walk straight past the one thing that was meant for you. If there's one warning you take seriously from this video, let it be this. Do not drown this moment in distractions. That means endless scrolling, doom-consuming, random content, overstimulation, and losing yourself in pointless conversations or drama that doesn't belong to you. Why? Because this alignment, Moon, Venus, Saturn, doesn't shout. It doesn't force its way into your awareness. It whispers, it nudges, it brushes your intuition gently and waits to see if you'll notice. And the only way to notice is to get still. If you flood your senses with external noise, you won't hear what's being offered. You won't catch the patterns. You won't feel the impulse when it lands. And here's what people don't realize. Trying to chase the signal, or worse, forcing a sign, is the fastest way to block it. This portal doesn't respond to control. It responds to alignment. It opens to receivers, not manipulators. So yes, meditate if you feel called. Journal if something's rising. But more importantly, don't go looking for the message. Let it find you, because that's how it was designed, trying to bend the portal to your will. Snap. It. Shut. On. You. Let this be your one quiet day, even just for a few hours. Unplug from the noise. Let the veil thin. You don't need to do anything fancy. You just need to not interfere. The message is already on its way. Your only job is to leave the door unlocked. This is not a time to scroll. This is a time to choose. Remember earlier when I said there's one specific reason this is happening to you? This is that moment. The portal doesn't stay open long, but while it's open, the field around you becomes incredibly responsive, not just to your actions, but to your intentions. The decisions you make over the next 24 hours may feel small, ordinary even, but they won't be, because you're making them while standing in a thin place, a moment where reality is a little more fluid, where timelines tilt, where your choices carry amplified weight, what you say yes to, what you say no to, what you hesitate on or leap into. All of it becomes encoded. All of it becomes directional. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice something strange. Things start mirroring back faster. Thoughts manifest more tangibly. People respond differently. Clocks seem to sync up. You might even feel like you're walking through your own thought field. So watch what calls to you during this window. Is there a name that keeps popping into your head for no reason? A feeling that you can't explain but won't go away? A symbol, a sound, a place showing up more than once? That's not the universe telling you something. That's the universe responding to something your soul already asked for, maybe lifetimes ago. And it's finally answering. Reality bends for those who know they're not just living it, but creating it. So move with intention. Let your actions carry weight. Choose what aligns, not what distracts. And trust that whatever meets you in the next 24 hours is showing up because you're ready. Some awakenings don't come with fireworks. They come with a strange, silent knowing. When the sun rises on May 23rd, everything might look the same. Same sky, same bed, same life. But something will be different, slightly tilted, subtly rearranged, not on the outside, on the inside. You may wake up with this weird sensation like you've just returned from somewhere you can't quite name. A place ancient, sacred, almost otherworldly, and yet somehow familiar. And here's the strange part. You won't remember it. Not clearly, not in words, but you'll feel like you had a conversation, a long one, soul to soul. Maybe with yourself, maybe with something older, wiser, watching. Some will describe it as a dream they forgot the second they opened their eyes. Others will just feel off, like their body arrived before their consciousness caught up. But if you tune in, if you pause for just a second when you wake up, you might catch it, a glimpse, a phrase, a visual, a knowing that wasn't there before. The signal doesn't shout, it rewires. It replaces the old script with one you were always meant to follow. This is the real aftermath of the portal. It doesn't explode your life overnight. It shifts the compass, quietly, permanently. You might find yourself suddenly clear on something you've wrestled with for months, or unexpectedly drawn to something that never made sense before. You might look at someone and see them differently, or realize you're ready to walk away from something you thought you needed. Because that's what the signal does. It doesn't hand you answers, it installs them, and by the time you notice, they've already taken root. So if you wake up May 23rd and feel like you've stepped into a life that's 1 degree off from the one you went to bed in, that's how you'll know it worked. Thanks for sticking around until the end. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Your support truly means a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences, so feel free to share them in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more meaningful content.